All right, welcome to PR Hangover. I am so excited for this episode. How do you pronounce your last name? I'm so sorry.
Oh no,
Reisinger.
Reisinger. So
Reisinger.
Reisinger.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Cool.
And I'm here with Ben Reisinger. Do you just want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
This is going to be a fun, definitely a little bit different episode of the PR Hangover. My name is Ben Reisinger. I'm an adjunct professor in the Advertising and Public Relations Department at Grand Valley State. And I am a 20-year communication veteran. I started off as a news writer back in the day. I wanted to be a sports writer. Then I became a sports information director, and from there I've worked for a few Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies. During Super Bowl 2012, I worked with the NFL, actually, in their digital media efforts. And then after that, Mary Freebed here in West Michigan came calling, and she's wonderful. And I was with Mary Freebed from 2013 until this past April of 2019. Okay. And now I am actually the Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Imaging Office Systems Incorporated, which is a technology company in Indianapolis, Indiana. A 40-year technology company that has evolved with times. So that's me. It's fun to, talk shop, and it's cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we're talking about today is the September 20th event, Raid Area 51. They can't stop all of us. Let's go see them aliens, which is just such a unique sort of scenario, but we're sort of starting to see this more and more as time goes on, events like this. So for people who sort of don't know a lot about it, can you give us just sort of a general timeline of how everything unfolded?
Sure. Okay, so there's a guy, and I'm looking it up right here. His name was Matty Roberts, and I guess he had this brainchild at 1 a.m. in the morning, and he just thought, he is a alien, UFO enthusiast. Conspiracy guy, maybe, whatever. And he thought, oh man, let's just go and get Area 51. Let's do it. If we get enough people, they can't stop us. We're going to kick ass, and we're going to storm the gates, and we're going to see if they're really aliens, which I think would be really cool, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
Yes.
And I think he sort of clarified later on, this was never meant to be taken seriously, but there are still a lot of people who are very determined to go see them aliens. So
just do it.
Right,
on September 20th.
Yeah, coming up really soon.
Yeah.
So we've even seen updates as of yesterday, things happening. What have we seen?
Okay, so yesterday on September 11th, two tourists from the Netherlands decided to fly across the globe, halfway across the world, and go to Nevada. And they went to Nevada, and they went across the line, and they were caught, and they were arrested, and that's when the Air Force said, this ain't no joke. So people are now saying, oh, is this really going to be canceled? We're hot on. It's not even 24 hours, since these guys have been arrested, and we don't know what's really going to happen to them and stuff. So who knows? Time will tell. We're about 1 week out.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And I believe the actual Facebook event has been taken down as far as I know, but over 2 million people said that they were either going or they were interested in the event.
Sure.
I RSVP'd and said that I was going. I have no intention of going. I just wanted to be able to follow the story. But again,
awesome.
there are those people who
I checked it out.
They're very, very determined to go. And
I'm an alien nerd.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like this guy, but I would totally love to have that real proof.
Yeah,
that there is life out there.
And you had mentioned to me before this earlier that you've sort of seen things like this happen before, events that sort of take off more than anyone is expecting and then sort of turn into something totally unexpected. So,
well, the one that we all know, Fire Festival.
Yes,
bingo.
That's a perfect example.
That just happened, and what's going to happen to Ja Rule in that? That's what I want to know. Because the guy that's done Fire Festival, he's going to be put in jail, but I thought it was a 50-50 split between him and Ja.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
this
is such new territory.
Yes,
Who
Fire
knows?
Festival, but yes, I even saw one of these on a small scale back in 2012. 420 Day. For those of you that are familiar with cannabis or marijuana. 420 Day is an international holiday where you're supposed to take part. And in 2012, it's still at this day in 2019, marijuana is very illegal. Just for having a little bit of it, they can take you to jail in Indiana. They are not near as progressive as we are here in the state of Michigan. And so it was a big deal. So again, it was started by a joke by this dude. He just did it. He thought it would be funny. He did it like 2 months out too. Like, oh, this is real. This is legit. And it was at this park called Garfield Park in downtown Indianapolis. Like a real park. He said they're going to have music, bands, food. Everybody can come. There's going to be a, a smokers, area. We're going to smoke and say, screw the man. We're going to get it done, dude. And he never said anything. But that day, so I was teaching and I was doing my master's degree back in this time in Indianapolis. And so I kept following it, taking screenshots, still have to this day. And I showed them the classes. So I walked over there and there's nothing. Just that. And it's funny how you like latch onto something or something that's popular, and the power of social media, the power of the internet, and then all of a sudden it's done, it's real, it's legit.
I know, it's crazy.
And that's what happened. I mean, that is exactly what happened, because everybody's like, well, this is cool, this is fun. Do you really think most of those people thought this was real? I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Are they
There's
are
really
they
no
are
telling,
they
I don't know.
are they willing to try?
Right.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I know, I've even hosted sort of, joke events on Facebook like this, and I remember that there were over 1,000 people interested in mine, and I was like, why?
Oh.
Like, what a unique.
What was your joke event?
It was say wow like Owen Wilson at Millennium Park, and like 30 people showed up.
Wow.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever done, but just
Like
sort
that
of
real
interesting.
eccentric. Wow, like with
Meme culture.
Yeah.
Something
and he
only my
wiggles his
generation.
nose.
Right.
Something like
Very
that.
own,
Yeah, he wrinkles his nose.
Wow.
I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Anyway.
I would totally have done that too.
Dang.
That's cool.
April 2018 should have
That
been
video
there.
could have gone viral. I
wish it didn't, but it totally could have. Sort of the same concept.
Yes, absolutely.
But what we've really seen from a PR standpoint is a lot of brands sort of latching on to this event and this movement as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most prominent that I found is Bud Light, which is now sponsoring, I think it's called Alien Stock, and it's going to be in Las Vegas, and it's sort of a festival, a music festival, to sort of take the place of sort of to try and redirect people so that no one gets arrested, but we can still celebrate together, I suppose. And
the guy, Matty Roberts, is working with them.
Yeah.
Like he's like, okay, it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but let's really do something out of it. You search the internet right now, people are already selling T-shirts. And I don't think they're official Matty Roberts, whatever, Storm the 51 T-shirts.
But yeah, pretty crazy. And I think it's so smart of Bud Light to latch on to this.
Absolutely.
Just because, that's their target audience, is these 20-somethings who, what do we have to lose? Let's go to Nevada and,
they're
see
paying
some
attention,
aliens.
too.
Yes, they are paying attention to their audience. That's huge.
Kudos to whoever, if it's that one dude just sitting there looking at stuff, man, we could do something with this.
Right.
I mean, Bud Light does all types of fun, crazy promotions like this.
Really?
Yeah, they've done other stuff like this. I was just talking about this yesterday in Capstone 305, the sports promotions class here. So the Cleveland Browns, they didn't win a game for a long time, like, a few seasons out and this and that. It was sad. It was upsetting. I mean, and Cleveland has hardcore fans. They love them.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're not the best.
Not doing
kind of
too
like
well.
the Lions. So what Bud Light did was, when the Lions finally won, they had pre-filled coolers of beer in certain strategic locations around the city of Cleveland, and like at certain, I think like liquor stores or like Walmart or Meijer or something. And when they won, they released this limited edition can, the Cleveland Browns Orange. And it had Bud Light on it, and it said like Browns win on one side and all that. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, just number one, they redid their cans. Number two, they thought ahead, because they're like, they're going to win sometime.
Right, they have to eventually, right?
And we're
Yeah.
going to be ready. So
Yes.
go Bud Light for, again, latching on to this area, Storm Area 51, and creating Alien Stock or Alien Fest, whatever this is, and just, I mean, what is it, 3 hours? I think that's what they said, from Area 51
yeah, I'm
to,
not sure.
I don't know, but yeah.
So interesting.
Go
'cause
Bud Light.
Yeah,
And there
shout
are
out
more
to their
brands
team.
that are doing this too, and are smart
Yes.
for doing that. Do you know any other ones that have like done this or done anything?
I would have to look it up. Do you have some?
Oh, yes. Okay. So I saw several tweets, a lot of, the tweets, and we're going to get into the whole meme fun thing, and we'll talk about that here in a second, people, because who
That's a
doesn't love
whole
good
thing
meme?
in and of itself.
Area,
Oh,
Area
yeah.
51, alien memes. I don't know. We'll have to look that up. We'll put that in the comments for you all.
Yes, we'll link
You
some.
you can see that. But there are definitely several brands that have, done a tweet or done this or done that to say, oh yes, okay, right here, you just pulled up Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and they got the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall
Right.
in the Area 51. That is sweet.
Burger
Sweet.
King, Moon Pie, of course.
Oh Moon Pie is your, they're right up there with me with Wendy's.
Yes.
And,
Oh
like
yeah.
their sass, they're
Oh,
cool.
yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So even if, Bud Light is going really extreme and, sort of hosting this entire event, but Twitter is the place to be for things like this, and brands
Absolutely.
are on fire.
DiGiorno
with content.
Pizza.
I know some of these I wouldn't expect, but
Yeah.
they're on it.
Kudos to them for, again, figuring this out. What does DiGiorno's Pizza have to say about
What did
that?
they have to say? Fun fact, no pizza place delivers to Area 51, and aliens obviously eat pizza, so they obviously eat DiGiorno. That is clever. Shout
Who
out
doesn't
to
eat
DiGiorno.
pizza? Yeah!
Even the aliens.
I mean, that'd be one of the things, I guess, hey, what's up, otherworld people? Have some of the best food this world has to offer.
Exactly,
Have a pizza.
and it's DiGiorno. That is some of the best pizza.
Cool.
So what are some of the benefits of brands latching onto this? Like, why is it good for brands to do things like this?
Just think of, it engages everybody. I mean, this is hot right now. It's there. Everybody's talking about it. So let's just see. DiGiorno had 696 likes on their tweet. Oh, Moon Pie, how many?
55,800.
See, yes. And I mean, you can't ask for free interaction and media. And let's see, 10.6 people are talking about the free Moon Pies in Area 51 tweet by Moon Pie. I mean, that sentiment alone, 10.6 thousand people talking about it with thousands of likes like that. So they're reaching a good over 250,000 people, and that's just free like that. I mean, and yes, Bud Light is paying money and to do this, but I mean, I think that they understand that they will reap the benefits of this.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. And they didn't have to make, they didn't make the Facebook event. They didn't have to come up with the idea, but they get to benefit off of this. So
I mean, okay, we can get a venue. It's Vegas. There's a million of them.
Right, we
can
do
do
that.
this.
Yeah.
Bud Light, you want to sponsor this? Yes, done. I mean, it's like a PR person, event person's like, boom, bam,
check,
thank you,
check,
ma'am.
check.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
I'd like it.
For sure.
I'd go.
Yeah. I would.
All right.
I think especially for, like I said, this wasn't, this isn't my parents' generation. This is something that's so unique, and I think something that my generation really, takes a lot of pride in, and it's something that's really unique about us. You're not going to find this kind of humor or this, this kind of thing anywhere else.
And
so,
humor is it.
Yes.
It's like dogs and food and babies.
Right.
And wedding pictures and stuff like that, and beach pictures, of your sandcastle. I mean, people just latch on to that.
Oh, yeah.
And they love it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Are there any downsides or disadvantages for brands to do something like this?
It just depends. It depends on what stunt it is and how they're doing it.
True. And of course, there are things that are out of their control. If something really bad happens at this event, then they sort of have to, deal with that as it comes. There's always unforeseen things
Circumstances.
Like that.
I tell my classes this all the time. No matter what you put out there, it's out there. You delete it, and again, I always like to stress that to people. Think before you tweet. Think before you post. But I mean, still shit happens.
That's true. Yeah, there's
I mean,
things we can't control.
100%. I mean, it's happened to me. I've had a couple personal fails here throughout my career, and don't get pissed and tweet.
Right. Yes. That is a huge, important lesson.
Yes. I learned that back in 2012 in Indianapolis. Absolutely. And I like to show this here to everybody that might see this. Just let you all know, we have Scrooge McDuck with us. And he is a Lego minifigure. And
he's our new mascot. The new mascot of PR Hangover.
PR Hangover, and he's ready. He will be here from now on. And he gives us mojo. He gives us love. And I mean, Scrooge McDuck, he was a marketer and PR guy himself.
Oh.
That's how he turned his lucky dime into billions and millions of dollars. He knew how to talk to people and work. You know, maybe that's something we should do, DuckTales.
Ooh.
Lessons from Uncle Scrooge and DuckTales. And
that could be a whole series in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd like that. Cool. All right.
Let's see.
There we go. Sorry for the side note, people. Toys are cool.
Happens.
#.
Is there anything else you want to hit on?
Yes.
Like, other than like the question specifically, but just like, what do you think is interesting about this, or what?
So,
what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, my whole take on this is it happened, and it happens to the most normal of people. Mm-hmm. You know, the most, you know, that their tweet or their post will just go crazy. Okay, so do you remember Chewbacca Mom?
Yes.
Chewbacca Mom with the mask laughing.
Chewbacca Mom? Right.
She's like laughing at herself. Oh my gosh.
That blew up.
That was intended just to send to her kids and her family, and it was out. It was out, honestly, for like a couple weeks before somebody hit it that mattered, and somebody else done. Yes,
took
blast off. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened with the Area 51. Let's storm it. Let's get some aliens. You know, it's like they were. You know, it made me think that they want to storm it like, you know, old school pickaxes and fires and stuff like that. You know, all these crazy hillbillies trying to get into Area 51 or something.
Oh man.
But I don't know. But yes.
I think it is interesting because, you know, back in the day, air quotes, so to say, it was a very sort of one-way communication between brands and their audiences, I think. And now we have the opportunity to, it's a two-way street, and we can create this content. And I just think that's a really interesting dynamic, and probably one that brands are still kind of figuring out what they can do and, you know, how far they can go with that. But that is a really interesting concept too.
That will evolve as time goes on. And I mean, I think brands have, you know, people weren't doing this 20 years ago. People weren't really doing this 10 years ago. I mean, it's 2019. In my opinion, about 2014, 2015 was when people really started to understand the whole experiential part of digital media, the whole, you know, why are we doing this? Okay, yeah, it's a digital scrapbook, and that's cool and all, but brands are like, oh, yeah, the more we talk, the more we interact, the more we do things. Yeah. It's what I call, for those of you that have taken my class, the circle of life, just like the Lion King.
That is what it is, yeah.
So the circle of digital communications with traditional, with all of it. And so it will continue to happen. And it will continue to happen, in my opinion, on a greater scale, a greater level. I mean, it'll be wild. Think about like somebody getting on a social media. I mean, they already do things like this, but say, come here now and just meet up like 5 minutes and let's do this and let's shoot a video and let's get crazy and let's woo and have fun.
Anything can happen in such a short
It really can. The right person, the right platform, they can do it. And then this guy, it went from Facebook everywhere. I mean, I think it's cool that he did this because he's famous, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes. I almost feel bad for him in a sense that I think he was overwhelmed, and I think I read something that like the FBI showed up at his house or they reached out to him. I know county commissioners like issued a state of emergency, and this poor no kidding, of course he did, but you know, this poor one guy who was just trying to joke around on Facebook,
I wonder if he was
now
drunk.
had to answer to all that.
Was he drinking?
It was 1 or 2 a.m. I mean,
he said 1 a.m. He had a couple beverages. Hey, let's just do this, people. Woo.
We also just have the weirdest sense of humor, our generation, so there is no telling. I think he was inspired by another one that was steal all of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes, or like some event like that.
I did not know that. Cool.
So these things are just becoming so common. It's
just there.
Yeah.
And you know, not all of them again are to this level that you're seeing.
Right.
Like not all of this is way up here in the clouds, and most of them are kind of, down here just like floating above the river, like on a canoe and stuff. So
yeah, they definitely all. I wonder.
not ever all of them go viral. That's what
right.
we're saying.
I wonder what the science is behind. I mean, is there science? How do certain events go viral and certain things don't?
Timing, platforms, and the right message. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was a part of an event called the Taste of the NFL back in 2012, and it was a gathering of food trucks. And the NFL just came in and told this gentleman I was working with, Steve, hey, we want to have this gathering, come out and do it. And we were like, okay, we can do this, but where are we going to get people? And we literally put it out just on Facebook. The NFL put it out on like the schedule of events, like for the Super Bowl and things like that. And we sold out, and there were thousands of people that showed up. And it wasn't even near Super Bowl Village. It was like kind of, out a little bit of a ways because, to bring a bunch of food trucks, you need some space.
Right, yeah.
I think there were 8-10 food trucks total, so it was a good selection.
Yeah.
And the only thing we didn't pay anything to, because we were like keeping our fingers crossed. Hey, the NFL put this on their official schedule, and people in Indianapolis are really, excited about this. And people from out of town just might be foodies and want to come to this, and so we spent $0 marketing and advertising it.
So
we
nice.
made an event on Facebook. I mean, it was on like the website, stuff like that, word of mouth.
Right.
And yeah, it was great. So just like that, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Have you ever seen the TV show Nathan For You?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay.
I think he's the genius
Yeah.
of the science of making things go viral. It's such an interesting show. If you haven't seen it, look into it.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, viral too is different for everybody, and I want to say that.
That's true.
Through this, something can go viral for you if you're a smaller organization where it's not millions, thousands. It's not technically the real definition of viral. But I always tell people, yes, for you or somebody like that, there are other categories of that. It's not the millions all over the internet, everything viral. But if you went viral just on that little platform for what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a win.
Super beneficial, absolutely.
Yeah. Kick-ass cool. Boom.
Awesome. Let's see, anything else? We covered it pretty good.
So the downsides, I'm just, again, what if it goes really bad? What if you look like a fool doing that? And there have been people, we were just talking about with social media fails in another class that I have. And we were talking about on the anniversary, it was just the 25th anniversary of the Challenger explosion, the space shuttle. And there was a brand out there, and a lot of people know who this is, that thought it would be cool. They thought it was I don't know, but they showed the not the video, but the picture of actual explosion of the space shuttle itself on their tweet. And they were trying to be like, we honor and remember these people, but it completely backfired on them, and they were like, no, so.
Right.
So yeah, there are definite downsides to trying to play off of something or make something go viral that, even, Area 51, an event like that. So you always have to take that into consideration.
Yeah. Do you think businesses, brands that latch onto these things, should they have a plan in place in case something happens, like a crisis plan, or, what's the best way? Because you can't predict what's going to happen, right? I mean,
you can never predict what's going to happen on digital media. No, not at all. But yes, I mean, you can't have canned, for like a response. And if you do, you're a poser. Don't do that at all.
Not
okay?
authentic. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I have had in the future, and I think that businesses should do this. You should have, some options. Okay, so what's, for X, Y, and Z. So if you're, a company and you're selling things and you have an upset customer, so here's A, B, and C. If you have someone that's trying to just defame you or your brand or, cussing, here's A, B, and C options to do with that. So you have a guide to help you when these things happen. And then as you have a guide, you construct what you should say, and it'll be even better. Yeah.
And I think it's important to, think it's important too for people to know what their roles are as the PR team. Okay, you're going to take care of this. You're going to take care of this. So so that there's no, oh, I thought you were going to, put out that press release, that tweet or whatever it may be. There's no gray area for miscommunication.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother story about crisis comm and things like that, a whole nother podcast. But yes, at Mary Free Bed, where I just was, we knew exactly who was going to the command center. We knew exactly who was getting the information from the command center to the marketing command center, because we had another one. We know exactly who was contacting the media. We knew exactly who was posting to the website and social media. We had all that predisposed and done and ready. But yet, the words itself, the vice president of marketing, along with whoever would construct those words then and there. But we knew exactly how to do it and get down and do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. How are we doing time? 25 minutes. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it. Yeah, people. Woo!
Backstage at a podcast. All right. Is that all we have? I can wrap us up.
I think that, sure. And I hate it when they just kind of drag on. I mean, I like it, but I hate it, be succinct.
Yeah, we'll get the important stuff.
Sure,
which I definitely think we did. All right, well, thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate you being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. This was fun. And I hope for all of you that are listening on this or might see this at one point, understand that you never know what will spiral out of control in digital media. And that's what happened out of a little 1 a.m., maybe a little drunken joke haze.
Exactly. So I guess we'll see what happens on September 20th.
We will. We should put it in the comments. Say this is what happened. I mean, we know two guys from the Netherlands have already been here and been arrested. Let's see how many more might be arrested too.
Just start a tally and we'll see. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. And keep following PR Hangover podcast. And follow Grand Valley State University PRSSA. They know their stuff.
Thank you.